Welcome to Constant TV, where legitimacy and consistency rule.
The earliest humans needed clothing for protection. They faced harsh weather conditions. They needed warmth and shelter. Early clothing was functional. Animal hides and vegetation provided these. Archaeological evidence suggests early humans used bone needles. These helped them sew together animal skins. These rudimentary garments provided warmth. They also offered protection from the elements. Clothing was essential for survival. As humans evolved, so did their clothing. They developed better tools and techniques. This allowed for more refined garments. They began to use natural dyes. These added color and decoration to their clothing. This marked the beginning of clothing as a form of self-expression. The development of clothing went hand in hand with human progress. It reflected the ingenuity and adaptability of our ancestors. From simple animal hides to more elaborate garments, clothing became an integral part of human life. It continues to evolve to this day. Ancient civilizations brought about new innovations. This included clothing. Social hierarchies emerged. As societies grew more complex, the need to distinguish between different social classes became more pronounced. Clothing became a primary means of expressing these distinctions, with different materials, colors, and styles indicating one's position within the social hierarchy. Clothing became a way to denote status and power. Nobles and royalty often wore garments made from the finest materials, adorned with intricate designs and vibrant colors. These garments were not just about fashion. They were a statement of wealth and influence. Intricate weaving and dyeing techniques developed. These techniques were passed down through generations, becoming more sophisticated over time. The process of creating these textiles was labor-intensive, requiring skilled artisans who were highly valued in their communities. These created more elaborate garments. The patterns and designs on these textiles often held symbolic meanings, representing various aspects of the culture and beliefs of the people who wore them. In ancient Egypt, linen was the primary fabric. Linen was favored for its lightness and breathability, making it ideal for the hot and arid climate of Egypt. The cultivation of flax, from which linen is made, was a significant agricultural activity in ancient Egypt. It was light and breathable. This made linen garments comfortable to wear in the scorching heat, allowing the skin to breathe and keeping the body cool. This made it suitable for the hot climate. The simplicity and practicality of linen clothing were complemented by the Egyptians' skill in pleating and draping the fabric. Egyptians also used pleating and draping. These techniques added texture and dimension to the garments, creating a sense of movement and fluidity. These techniques added elegance and sophistication to their clothing. The pleats and drapes were not just decorative. They also had practical purposes, allowing for greater freedom of movement. Jewelry and headdresses were important accessories. These items were often made from precious metals and stones, further emphasizing the wearer's status and wealth. They signified wealth and status. The more elaborate and ornate the jewelry, the higher the status of the individual wearing it. Mesopotamians developed sophisticated weaving techniques. These techniques allowed them to create textiles that were both durable and beautiful. They were known for their wool textiles. Wool was a versatile material that could be used to create a wide range of garments, from simple tunics to elaborate robes. These were often adorned with intricate embroidery and tassels. They used natural dyes. The use of natural dyes allowed for a rich palette of colors, which were used to create vibrant and eye-catching patterns. These created vibrant colors and patterns. The patterns often had symbolic meanings representing various aspects of Mesopotamian culture and beliefs. Mesopotamian clothing often featured tunics and shawls. These garments were practical and versatile, suitable for the varying climate of the region. These were layered for both style and warmth. The layering of garments allowed for greater flexibility, enabling individuals to adjust their clothing according to the weather. Ancient Greece and Rome placed emphasis on draped garments. The art of draping was highly valued, with different styles of draping indicating different social statuses and occasions. These were often made from wool or linen. Both materials were readily available and could be used to create a wide range of garments. The toga was a symbol of Roman citizenship. Wearing a toga was a privilege reserved for Roman citizens, and the style and color of the toga could indicate the wearer's social status and political affiliation. It was a large, crescent-shaped piece of cloth. The toga was draped over the body in a specific manner, with the folds and drapes carefully arranged to create a distinctive and elegant appearance. It was draped over the body in elaborate folds. The process of draping a toga was complex and required skill, often necessitating the assistance of a servant. Greek clothing often featured chitons and hymations. These garments were simple in design but could be styled in various ways to create different looks. The simplicity of Greek clothing was complemented by the use of high-quality materials and the skillful draping of the fabric, but they were often adorned with elaborate patterns and embroidery. These decorative elements added a touch of elegance and sophistication to the otherwise simple garments, reflecting the Greek appreciation for beauty and artistry. The medieval period saw a fusion of cultural influences blending the traditions of various regions and peoples. This era was marked by a rich tapestry of evolving styles and innovations in clothing. The Byzantine Empire had a significant impact on fashion, serving as a bridge between the East and West. Its influence extended far beyond its borders, shaping the aesthetics of medieval Europe. It introduced luxurious fabrics and elaborate embroidery to Europe, which were highly prized and sought after. These intricate designs and rich materials became symbols of wealth and power. Clothing continued to signify social standing, with distinct differences in attire between the classes. The nobility adorned themselves in opulent garments, while the lower classes wore simpler, more functional clothing. It also served practical purposes. Layering was common, not only for warmth but also for versatility. People could adjust their layers according to the weather and their activities. It provided warmth during the colder months, with heavy cloaks and fur-lined garments being essential for survival in harsh climates. The ingenuity in medieval clothing design ensured that people could endure the cold. Wool and linen remained the primary fabrics for the lower classes, as they were durable and readily available. These materials were practical for everyday wear and could be produced locally. The wealthy could afford silk and velvet, which were imported from distant lands. These luxurious fabrics were often used to create elaborate garments that showcased the wearer's status and wealth. These were imported from the East, traveling along complex trade routes that connected Europe with Asia. The exchange of goods and ideas along these routes had a profound impact on medieval fashion. Medieval clothing was often characterized by long, flowing garments that draped elegantly over the body. These robe-like clothes were both stylish and functional, allowing for ease of movement. Men wore tunics and hose, which were practical for daily activities. Tunics varied in length and could be layered for additional warmth, while hose provided comfort and flexibility. Women wore long gowns with fitted bodices and flowing skirts, which emphasized their femininity and grace. These gowns were often adorned with intricate embroidery and embellishments. Headwear was an important part of medieval attire, serving both practical and symbolic purposes. Hats, veils, and hoods were commonly worn, each style reflecting the wearer's status and role in society. It denoted social status and marital status, with specific styles reserved for different ranks and occasions. For example, married women often wore veils, while unmarried women might wear simpler head coverings. The Crusades brought about contact with the East, exposing Europeans to new cultures and fashions. This exchange led to the introduction of exotic fabrics and styles that were previously unknown in Europe. This introduced new fabrics and styles to Europe, enriching the medieval wardrobe with vibrant colors and intricate patterns. The influence of Eastern fashion was evident in the luxurious textiles and elaborate designs that became popular. The Byzantine Empire, with its opulent silks and intricate embroidery, had a significant influence on medieval fashion. The craftsmanship and artistry of Byzantine textiles set a high standard for European clothing. This period laid the foundation for the elaborate clothing of the Renaissance, where fashion became even more extravagant and expressive. The innovations and influences of the medieval era paved the way for the rich and diverse styles that would define the Renaissance. The Renaissance marked a period of rebirth and renewal. This era, spanning roughly from the 14th to the 17th century, was characterized by a resurgence of interest in the classical art, literature and philosophies of ancient Greece and Rome. It was a time when Europe emerged from the Middle Ages and began to embrace new ideas and perspectives. It was a time of great artistic and cultural change. Artists like Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo and Raphael created masterpieces that continue to inspire awe today. The streets buzzed with the energy of new ideas and cultural events flourished, bringing people together to celebrate the human spirit and its potential. This was reflected in the clothing. Fashion during the Renaissance was not just about covering the body, it was a statement of identity, status, and artistic expression. The clothing of this period was a canvas upon which the ideals of beauty and luxury were painted. The Renaissance saw a return to classical ideals of beauty. Sculptures and paintings from this time often depicted the human form in a way that emphasized proportion, balance, and harmony. These classical influences permeated all aspects of life, including fashion. Clothing became more elaborate and decorative. Gowns were adorned with intricate patterns and designs, showcasing the skill of the artisans who created them. Every stitch and embellishment was a testament to the wearer's wealth and taste. The use of luxurious fabrics like silk, velvet, and brocade increased. These materials were not only beautiful, but also signified the wearer's social status. The rich textures and vibrant colors of these fabrics added to the overall opulence of Renaissance fashion. Intricate embroidery, lace, and jewels adorned garments. These details were meticulously crafted, often taking countless hours to complete. The result was clothing that was not only visually stunning, but also a symbol of the wearer's refinement and sophistication. The silhouette of clothing changed. Gone were the loose flowing garments of the medieval period. Instead, clothing began to take on a more structured and fitted appearance, reflecting the Renaissance ideals of order and proportion. It moved away from the long, flowing lines of the medieval period. The transition in fashion was marked by a shift towards more tailored and form-fitting garments, which highlighted the natural shape of the body. It adopted a more fitted look. Doublets, bodices, and other garments were designed to hug the body, creating a sleek and elegant silhouette that was both flattering and fashionable. This emphasized the shape of the body. Clothing during the Renaissance was designed to accentuate the natural curves and lines of the human form, celebrating the beauty of the individual. Men's clothing became more opulent. Doublets, breeches, and other garments were often made from luxurious fabrics and adorned with intricate details, reflecting the wearer's status and wealth. They wore doublets, breeches, and stockings. These items were essential components of a fashionable Renaissance wardrobe, each piece carefully crafted to create a cohesive and stylish look. Ruffs, made of lace or linen, became a fashionable accessory. These elaborate collars added a touch of elegance and sophistication to any outfit, becoming a symbol of Renaissance fashion. Women's clothing emphasized the waist. Corsets were used to cinch the waist and create an hourglass figure, which was considered the epitome of beauty during this period. They wore corsets to achieve a more hourglass figure. These garments were often elaborately decorated and designed to enhance the wearer's natural shape, creating a striking and elegant silhouette. Skirts became fuller and more voluminous. Layers of fabric were used to create a dramatic and luxurious look, adding to the overall grandeur of Renaissance fashion. The Renaissance marked a turning point in fashion history. It was a time when clothing became more than just functional. It became a form of art and self-expression, reflecting the wearer's personality and status. It moved away from the purely functional garments of the past. The transition from medieval to Renaissance clothing was marked by a focus on aesthetics and individuality, with fashion becoming a way to express one's identity and values. It embraced clothing as a form of art and self-expression. The elaborate designs and luxurious materials used in Renaissance fashion were a testament to the creativity and skill of the artisans who created them. This set the stage for the extravagance of the Baroque and Rococo periods. The Renaissance laid the foundation for the opulent and elaborate fashions that would follow, influencing the course of fashion history for centuries to come.